Hello, welcome to Mama Sue's Kitchen. It's a beautiful day today, and before I start cooking, I want to tell you that baby Blake is 4 months old today, and he came home Monday. He weighs 6 pounds and 1 ounce at 4 months old. But we're so blessed, and thank you so much for all your prayers that you've been praying for him. But I'm going to get this started, and then I'll talk while it's cooking. It's called Stuffed Bell Pepper Casserole. Love stuffed bell peppers. But this is a casserole. The recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of ground beef. But I have mine in pound packages. We bought from a local cattle farmer. We bought a half of a beef, and my daughter Amy and her husband bought half of the half. So Harold and I have 1/4 of it, and this ground beef is wonderful. There's hardly any fat after I brown it, but the recipe calls for 2 bell peppers chopped and a cup of onion chopped, and you add it as you're browning your ground beef. You can see that I've done that, and I used my chopper that you've seen me use before from Walmart. Love it. It really saves time. But we're just going to brown this. It'll take just a little while. But to this, while that's browning, I'm going to add 3 cloves of garlic. And I'm going to use the minced garlic. And on here it says that 1/2 teaspoon is approximately 1 clove. So I'm going to do 3 of these halves. There's 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of Cajun seasoning. So I get the Slap Your Mama Cajun seasoning. I imagine you could use any of your favorite, but I'm going to use a teaspoon of this. Put that in there. And 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. I'm just going to sprinkle it with my hand. 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. And 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Now you don't have to put those, but 1/4 teaspoon is not going to make it hot. It's just going to give it a little bite. Okay? Now that's all that we add while the ground beef and peppers and onions are cooking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause, and after this browns, I will be back and I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, I have browned this with what you saw me put in, the peppers, onions, and the seasoning. Now, it says at this time, if it needs draining, you would drain it. But I'm going to tell you, my ground beef it's really so lean until I didn't need to drain it. What I'm going to do at this time is I'm going to put it in my 9x13 casserole dish. Now I'm going to have to hold it over because it's hot. And it's fogging my glasses. Alright. I'll show it to you I know you can't see it right now, but I will show you. I'm going to turn this down so you can see. You can see that I put it in this casserole dish. And to this, I'm going to add 3 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. There's 1. I'm not going to measure because it... Okay. I'm going to add 1 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes, and what I had in my pantry were roasted garlic. So you can use plain, or if you want, you can use the roasted garlic, and that's what I had. Then 2 cups of beef broth. Beef broth, okay? Pouring that in here. And the last thing is 1.5 cups of white rice. This is not instant rice. It's the regular rice. Then it says when you have it in your dish, you're going to stir it and just get it all mixed together. I hope you can see. I think I've told you this before, and you already know it without me telling you. But when I first started cooking on here, I didn't know how to do this, how to do the camera. So it's been a learning process for me, but I'm hoping that with time it's going to get better. Now with this, all I'm going to do now is I'm going to cover it. And I'm covering it with some foil. And I'm going to put it in a preheated 350-degree oven for 1 hour. And that's to get the rice and all cooked. Then when that is cooked, I'll be back, and we add one more little short step. So I'll be back. Okay, it cooked 1 hour. I just took it out of the oven. I'm going to show you what it looks like right now. I can tell the rice has cooked. Now the very last thing that you do is you take 2 cups of sharp cheddar cheese and 1 cup of pepper jack cheese, and you're just going to sprinkle it all over the top. And the recipe says you put it back in your oven for 5 to 7 minutes until the cheese has melted. So I have covered it in the cheeses. I'm going to put it back in the oven for 6 minutes, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I left it in the oven for 6 minutes, and the cheese has melted on top. It smells so good with all of those spices. I'm going to go ahead and put some on my plate. Let it be cooling. Whoops, kind of made a mess. I should have gotten a spatula. That's what I needed. Do you see? It's just a stuffed pepper without it being inside the bell pepper. The bell pepper is chopped in this. I'm going to let it cool for just a minute. And I know someone's going to say, what kind of chopper did you use? This is the box that mine came in. I got mine at Walmart probably 5 years ago. And when I got it, it didn't cost as much as it does now, but they still have them. I saw them the last time I was there. They're about $17. It's worth every penny. You can do all your chopping, and it's very handy to have. Okay, before I taste this, I want to tell you my verse today that I wrote on love. It's from 1 Peter 4, verse 8. It says, above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sin. And what I wrote after that verse, I just said, love forgives over and over again. To cover sin is to forgive it, and forgiveness is associated with love. Y'all, we must love because God's love. Y'all, I want you to be salt and light wherever you go, and just show Jesus. Let the light of Jesus shine through you. I hope you have a great day, and I'll be back soon with another recipe.